2016 for SQL developers. In November, Zhang will present a SQL Server CDC from 0 to hero. And in December, Kathy Kallenberger will present indexing fundamentals. Please note, Kathy's session was previously announced in December the 10th, but later on, because of the schedule conflicts, we changed it to December 17th. Here are the selected virtual chapter meetings. You may go to sqlpass.org/events to find detailed information. In past virtual chapters, here's the, I think it's the list of all virtual chapters here. And because past membership is totally free, if you are not a member yet, please join us. And once you join as a past member, you may join as many virtual chapters as you like. And of course, we welcome you to join our virtual chapter, which is Saturday Night SQL. It's over here. And there are some upcoming SQL Saturdays. I guess there's only one left in US and Canada. If you would like to, well, PASS is mostly run by volunteers. If you would like to volunteer today for local opportunities, please visit volunteer.sqlpass.org. And once again, PASS membership is totally free. And if you are not a member yet, you're welcome to join PASS. And then if you join our virtual chapter, you'll get the chapter information and each session's shared slides and other documents delivered to your email box. How to ask questions during the session. If you would like to ask questions yourself, please raise your hand by click this little hand sign over here. If you would rather type your questions, then please type it in the chat window over here. Then I will ask the questions on your behalf. As you guys may already know, Peter Liu has delivered several popular presentations for our virtual chapter. We highly appreciate his continued support for our VC, and I'll let Peter introduce himself. With that, I'm going to turn it over to Peter. Give me a second. Let me transfer screen over to him.
Hello, good evening. This is Peter. As most of you, we are quite good friends. Right? We are all friends. So we know each other pretty well through the WeChat group. And I have been given some topics in the past. So I don't think I need to go through all the deck about self-introduction because most of us know me pretty well. Let me go through the first deck. Okay. Right, this is the first screen. Show my screen. Which screen do you see?
Peter, I can't see anything at this point, but It just shows your name.
Hey, well, how do I share my screen? Okay, okay.
Let me try once again to make you a presenter. Oh, I can see your screen now.
Which screen do you see? I have two screens.
Oh, okay. The one I saw is what's new in SQL Server 2016.
Okay, that's good. All right. So basically, what I want to do is quickly jump over a few slides that I supposed to put in for my employer, then spend most of the time on the features on SQL Server engine. Then more specifically, I want to touch the always encryption, dynamic data masking, and the JSON support. And lastly, integration with R. Then as requested or suggested by Sarah, I will share with you as a hiring manager. You know what? I was known in Cleveland and Ann Arbor as the toughest hiring manager. All those recruiters know me very well. They don't give me not really good resumes. But I'm sharing with you what I'm looking for, how I can detect problems during the interviews. Right? So I want to jump this. Yeah. If you want to know more about me, we talk in the WeChat group. You already read the memo, right? So I don't need to say any of those. Okay. So SQL Server 2016, just the database engine itself, they add a whole bunch of new features, right? They say they have the ColumnuStore indexes. That is specifically designed for data warehouse. Then the data scoped configuration is also like huge improvements on the database transaction considerations. Then they have the in-memory OLTP, considered a huge database or memory can be tens or even hundreds of gigs memory. So they put a whole OLTP in memory to improve performance. There are some like a query optimizer, live query statics, query store, all those kind of features. Then this thing I want to emphasize this. I mean, wait. I'm not going to go through all of them. What I'm trying to say is that there are some very interesting features you might want to spend some time on. You know, I think I talked once Microsoft Azure in SQL Server developer, right? So with the SQL Server 2016, they add a feature called stretching. You can start your database in your on-premises database server. Then you can stretch your database to Azure. So part of data in your local, part of data in Azure, but from programming point of view, it looks like it's the same database. So those are very, I mean, it's migration to the, like seamless migration to Azure cloud version of the database. Then they also have the different database sizing, default database sizing, and the auto group value. We have auto group value, right? So you say my database is 2 gig, and every time run out of space, add another gig or something. But they have different way of doing it now. So those are the new features just in the database engine alone. In data warehouse, in SSIS, they have a whole bunch of features. Even for DBA, they have other features listed there, right? I'm not going to talk this in detail. I'd rather spend the time on those few topics, the encryptions, masking, and the JSON Support plus R, right? So move on. Encryption. So in your database, you can see under security, there's always encryption keys. Then you can create keys. Once you create it like I did, you create one key in the master key. Then you create another key called column encryption key. Once these two keys are created, you will be able to use the key like this. This key also can be created using the SQL query. Create a column master key, you define the master key, then you say where is it? Normally by default you install it in MS certified store, then you provide key path, then you create a column key. So you need to have the master key, you have the column key, right? Once you have the master key, you see this is the way you create a master key. You give a name, you choose the store, you save, right? Once you created the master key, you can select the master key here, create a column key. So all those is not even used, just set up the stage, right? Then the encryption, they have like 3 different types of encryption algorithms. So you pick one. So for this case, I use RSA, right? So once I created all those keys, I can create a table. See this way? I can create a table encrypted with. Then I choose the algorithm. Then I choose the encryption key, which I just created, right? So I can create every column. I can create a key there, right? However, there's some funny thing. So I create a table, right? I create a table. Then I try to insert a table, right? And I thought I'm good. Data should be encrypted, right? The answer is no. When I try to do this, prepare for this presentation, I was struggling for like a day. What's going on? So I did a search here and there, and eventually I found that, sorry, you can't do it. What you need to do is you need to write the connection in the connection string. You need to have a column encryption setting enabled. So normally we do this in the SQL Server Management Studio. We don't put this like a connection string like that, right? So it will be almost, if not difficult, if not impossible, it's very difficult to do it in the SQL Server Management Studio. So with that, I figured I can write some code, C# code, and I can do some data, put some data into the table. Then I can see how it is encrypted, right? So with that, I'm going to start the first demo. Just a quick question. Are we all good with the C# code? So let's give it a try, right? So I have a C# project here. Yeah. So you see I have app config file. App config file says the connection string was new, and data source equal to blah, blah, data source. And I have encryption setting equal to true, right? So let me show you, before that, I want to show you my SQL Server. So my SQL Server, I have a what's new database, right? Then I have security. Then I have always encryption key, see that, right? Then I have a master encryption key. I have a always column encryption key, right? They are created using this script. Master key. See that?
Sorry to interrupt, Peter.
Yeah. Yeah.
Can you enlarge the screen?
Okay. It's better? No, oh, okay, I know. My resolution is too high. Let me change my screen resolution.
Okay. Or maybe there's a
It's my problem. It's my problem. My resolution is like a 4K resolution.
okay.
Okay, this should be better now.
Yeah, it's better.
Right? Okay.
Thank you.
So yeah, sorry, I forgot about that. So come back here. In the SQL Server, you have a encryption key. So the easiest way to do this encryption key is just new column master key. Then you put the name there, whatever it is, then just OK, right? And although you could, then you choose the store where you choose, right? You even can store the key in Azure, right? So for this case, I just do the default one. So easiest way, when you in your starting edge, just doing you do it in the SSMS. Then here, if I do the encryption key, I can select the master key I have, then put column key here, right? So minimum coding, minimum struggling, right? So once you have those key, then you can create a table. I can show you the table I have. Always include, right? I guess script out. See here, encrypted with column encryption key equal to my key, right? Encryption type equal to random, then all those stuff follows, right? So with this, however, if you I have some data in it, let me look at it. See, my last name is encrypted, my salary is encrypted, right? However, then let me run the program. Okay, so you see the table. Let me insert a column, right? So this is ID last name. ID is primary key, right? So let's say insert into what's the name of it? Okay, DBO demo with encryption with name, right? Last name Peter. Oh no. And salary, I'm rich. I get $100,000. Right? Should be good, right? By right, if no encryption thing, this is good, right? You see? You can't. So I figured out, I spent some time research on the net. They say, you know what? You need to write C# code. So I write C# code. Then, okay, this is the form. I just now I show you, or maybe try again, the app config file. App config file says the connection string encryption setting equal to enabled. That's the key, right? So let me show you my form. I have something here, get by last name, then add, right? Under the add, I do current connection. Then I call the store procedure add a person. If you see the add a person here, it just insert. See that? The last name salary. Actually, as good as the value last name salary, right? It's nothing fancy. Store procedure is nothing fancy. And the code wise also nothing fancy. We put a text in the end into the salary, last name, put in the insert add, SQL line query, we're good, right? So coding wise, it's nothing, you don't need to worry about encryption. You didn't do anything to do with encryption. Then you get, right? So let me run this program. So let me see who is that. See, I got the last name, I got the name, right? So let me add another person. Let's say, oh, so add another one. Let's say Lee, right? Lee has 120,000. Right, person add. So let's go back to the database, look at that. Just now we saw 2, right? So now we should have 4 actually. Yeah, 4, right? So you look at it, the first one and the third one is the same because I just push the button, add back, right? So this is the 120,000, right? Number 4 is 120,000. It's encrypted, right? So you can't run away from encrypting because if you don't go through encryption, you cannot insert data into this table. So let's go back to loop. Let's delete the number 3. Delete. From ID equal to 3. Okay. Where? Right. So come back here. If I search for Lee, I get 120,000. Oh, shoot. No. I shouldn't push the wrong button. Sorry. I search for Lee, I should get 120,000, right? If I search for Lu, I should get 1, 2, 3, 4, right? So that's how the encryption is working. And the trick here is that you need to use the connection string to specify that it is supporting encryption. If not, you cannot get through. So that's always encryption. Let's see. Sarah, how long we have about this topic, or when we want to start the panel discussion?
Oh, you can. Don't worry about that. You can take
Okay.
as much time as you want to.
Okay. So the next topic is dynamic data masking. Dynamic data masking, they provide a way to mask that. The data, for example, they say, for example, social security number, email address, credit card number, all those sensitive data, you want to mask it. You don't want people to see it, right? So there are 3 ways to, default is just mask them all. There are some email masking, so they specifically mask your email. You also can mask your credit card number in a certain pattern. For example, only show you the last 4 digits, something like that, right? That's all you need. You can insert data into the table, but let me show you this, okay? So I have a table here. Let me show you here, okay. Console, let's start. So I have, not this one. Yeah, here. So I have a custom table. I have a custom table. I have a phone number, email address, a credit card number. I did all kind of masking with them, right? So let me show you my database that is in custom. Right? So if I show you all the query here, you see that masking? Oh, it's not. Let's do the masking here. Okay. So let's say we start with a phone number. Oops. start with the phone number. We say, right? So now our phone number is masked, right? However, it's kind of funny. If I select from DBO customer, nothing masked. Nothing masked. You notice that, right? So what's going on? Then I couldn't figure out why. Then I struggled for like a half a day. Then I figured that it is because I'm the DBO, I'm the one created the table, I'm the owner of the table, and this mask doesn't open for me because I'm supposed to see everything. Only when someone did not have the DBO role, if I grant them the selection permission, then they will see the mask. So let me try to connect this database with another user, right? So let's say connect database. So here I'm connecting to this database as a test user. And I grant this test user with the selection permission, which I did here. So I granted this guy with select permission with that, right? So then let me see, I select this guy. You see the phone number? You see phone number is masked? So that is how the masking work. I can delete the table, create a table with all encryptions as it is, like this case. I also can create a table without masking. Then I can add a letter, right? I can order the table, add a masking to the table, to the column. I can mask one column, two columns, whatever it is. However, by default, if I grant this test user selection permission, they doesn't have the unmask permission. So that's why they got the data in masked, right? So if I want the guy to see how, I want the guy to take out the mask for him. So what I can do is that I can go to here, my first query. Okay, so I give him one more permission, unmasked, right? So that test user is unmasked, right? Now, if I select again, you see the phone number here? So if I want to revoke, I don't want him to have that permission, I just revoke unmask from the test user. Then if I come here, now I see the masking. So those are the masking, dynamic masking in SQL Server 2016, right? So let me go through something else. So that's dynamic, all you need. But the problem is, it is permission, how I say, but that's all you need. But when you select from it, it doesn't mask. Why? Right? The answer is, it is permission. As a DBO, you create a table, you own the table. You have the unmasked permission by default. That's why masking does not work for you. But mask for others, like this. Let me put this up. You can grant the selection permission to particular user. Then you can alter the table, add the masking. Then you can revoke unmask permission from the user, or vote and grant the unmask permission to the user. So those are the mask. Building JSON support. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 ways of interacting with SQL Server database and produce or interpret JSON. Quite comprehensive. I like it a lot. Right, and let me open up my Visual Studio. Team. Oh. Oh, I haven't logged in. Forget about that. Okay. Don't worry about that. Anyway, why I haven't logged in? Oh, it's not connected. Still running. Ah. Yeah, now good. Yeah. Yes. If it takes too much time, I will skip this part. Yeah, it's come out. Okay. Okay. Now okay. Four. JSON support 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's show you the first one. And the first one is kind of simple. Right, so I have a database called DBO customer, right? Then remember in the previous version of SQL Server or even current version, they have a feature called for XML, right? So this guy just similar as it is to for XML. Let's say go to another database. Custom is fine. I have a custom client. Fine. Okay. So I'll just select from DBO customer for JSON path equal root customer. See that? It is JSON comes out. Right? If you want starting with customer, you can put customer. You want to put whatever you want to put, it's fine. So that's the native support, the first native support for JSON support. The second one is you can test certain string, whether that string is JSON or not. I have it here. I have it here.
So is it possible for you to make it a little bit bigger? It seems the query is a bit small to see.
Let me change the view whether I can.
Oh, and you can
Yeah.
just go to that left side corner. It says 100% and change it to maybe 125 or 150. That
Where?
on the panel where you write your query on the
Okay.
left corner at the bottom.
Oh, bottom. Okay, okay, sorry.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Better?
Yeah, much better. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, thank you, thank you. This is our. Yeah, okay. So now I declared a JSON string, basically a string, right? I say all those names. Then I say, tell me, is this string a valid JSON? Right, so let's run it. I want to be. So it is. If I put some funny thing there, let me put something else. For example, I take this guy out. It's not, right? So they inspect your string to find is this string a valid JSON string. If it is not, they tell you it's not. Right? So this is the second. Then the third one is JSON value. So let me show you this. So this one is JSON value. Wait a moment. I should get the guy. Yeah. So in the beginning of the query, I create. Yeah. Okay. I declare the variable watch out 1000. Then I put a string in this variable. Then first I want to check whether it is JSON. It is, right? So if this JSON, I can use OpenJSON, right? If I open JSON, after open JSON, I can do all this formatting. For example, I say ID is this ID here, and starting from the $sign, which is the beginning of it, right? The first name is starting from the starting point, then to information, then dot name here. See that? Then I have last name is the information here, then the surname here. Then I can get an edge. Basically, I can put this JSON string into a tablet format by using OpenJSON. Similar to OpenXML. Similar to OpenXML. You see that? So I can parse the SQL query, the JSON string, right? So with this, I can open the JSON string and make it a tabular structure, then I can process that further, right? So this is the open JSON. The next one is JSON value. I can pick up the specific value from it. So let me show you how I do it. So I have a, I think client table. Yeah, I have a JSON string here. So let me open select from JSON first. See JSON here, right? So, but right now it's a string, right? I cannot pick the data from it. But with this way, I can do that. And let me show you. Let's see. From client, right? So I can get that. See, I can get the whole string from here. I also can get the individual elements inside the JSON string. So this is the JSON value. But JSON value, that's a thing, the JSON value only get one element. You don't get all the information. For example, this one, information has a surname, information has address, street, information, address, city, but you only can get one data element, the bottom of it. You cannot get a subset of the JSON. There is a query to get a subset of JSON called JSON query. JSON query, where's my JSON query? Oh, this is JSON modified. Let's do modified first. Right, so I can do this here. JSON modified, I can update this table, set JSON string equal to JSON modified original JSON column, then I put a city maybe well the original JSON column equal to W. Then do a select first. See, become another, right? I can do JSON particular update, particular entry in the JSON string using JSON update, JSON modified. Let me look for my JSON query. JSON, I think, yeah, okay, JSON query. So I have a JSON string here. Then I want to see the sub-segment of the JSON, which is information, right? But if I want to know, okay, here, see, I still get a subset of JSON, which inside information, info, name, John, surname, Smith, right? But I cannot get one particular entry. I only can get a substring. So subsegment, JSON value, you can have to specify the info.name. So that is the difference between JSON query and the JSON value. Right, so there's the JSON. JSON modifier, JSON query is JSON, JSON value, open JSON, full JSON. So there are 6 ways of supporting JSON in SQL Server 2016, which we are addressed them. If you are interested, they are some resource in MSDA. I think they are changed to Visual Studio Online or something. Come on, why so slow? Yeah, JSON query. So with all JSON-related specifications. But you know what? You just search Google JSON query, you get a whole bunch of information. But I just provided here for you instead, in case you are interested. So JSON data, then different way of interact. JSON value, JSON query is JSON are here. Right? So Microsoft did it pretty good in providing those documentations. So those are JSON. Let's see. What's the next? Which we gone through all of them. Okay, R. I stuck here for like 2 days. I couldn't get it work. Eventually, I found that it's a bug in Microsoft SQL Server. What they try to say first, you need to install 2 services that as part of SQL Server Engine service, you have an R service in database. Then you have another R service standalone. So these 2 services need to be installed, right? So then after you install it, you have this R service in database success, R service standalone success, right? Supposedly you're good. Then what you need to do is that you need to configure configure extended script enabled. Then you run reconfigured in your database. Then that's all you need. Then you can run the R here R, right? Language equal to R. Those are the R scripts, right? Supposedly, but you couldn't. And according to documentation, you run this external script enabled equal to 1. Then you look at it. It is 1 if you show all the configure is 1, but still doesn't work. So like I struggled 2 days, realized that actually Microsoft didn't tell the truth. You need to shut down the SQL Server service, start it back, then start to work. So let me show you what do I mean here. So first, I want to show you R. So let's say show advanced option. Right. So here. So it's 1, right? Good. Then I say external. Okay. Right? So I did this, okay, maximum 1, minimum 0, configured value 1, but the run value always 0. If run value 0 means it doesn't take effect. Or eventually I said I got fed up, just restart the service. Then it become one. Then it start to work. Then, so if you, according to the document, say, just run this, you will be good. May not be true. May not be true, right? So let's say here, yeah, okay, I have R here. So now I configure this good, I run this good. Then, for example, I have this query. Oh, sorry, put the wrong button. So let me copy this to here. All right, so I got data. So if I want to run the second one, remember here I have language equal to R. So that's maybe different database. Other line, oh, different database. Let's do here. Yeah. Right? So this is one way of interact with SQL Server using R language. Input data one, the name, SQL in, SQL out, then with the result set, the stuff. That's another way of interact with R is using RStudio. RStudio is the free software. You can download it, install it. Then remember I said you need to have a 2R service up. Then this R work. And I remember during the time I prepared for this, I was not good with R. Then I said I don't really know much about R. And maybe someone here can explain what is this R about. But I can run it here. You see the chart, right? So those are the integration with R to SQL Server 2016. One is in database, one is standalone. If you're standalone, you use RStudio. If you do in database, you use SPSQ external script R. So those are my presentation related to technical aspect. And let me run through them. Right, this is RStudio. Okay, then I want to touch a little bit about, as a hiring manager, what I look for in the resume, right? So the first, I look for the technology I'm interested. I want to look for example, SQL Server, Visual Studio, or SSRS, or ETL, or whatever, right? Or web form, or web service, or C#, anything you name it. The first, if in the resume it doesn't have the keyword I'm interested, I probably won't call the person, right? There's one aspect. Another aspect, let's say you are not ready, for example, SQL Server 16, you didn't work at it, you don't know. That's fine. You want to sell your business experience. You worked in the retail business, in the banking business, or in the hotel business, kind of business experience. That also help you. Then experience in exposure, in the sense that, okay, you are in the project, right? This project, how big? 20 people, 10 people, only 1 people. And your role in that project, let's let's say you are the architect, or you are the data DBA or database design chief designer, then your role is better than I participate in the project, I work together with other team. Then if you say I lead a team, I led a team, or I was in charge of a certain portion, that give you different exposure, right? Let's say you just graduated from the college, you don't have much formal experience, that's still fine. Then you will sell your formal education. You say, I graduated from computer science of this college, and my GPA so and so, my intern, I did this project in this company, so and so. Right? So basically, you use the Chinese word, say, you sell what you have, right? So you sell your experience, you sell your technology, you sell your business knowledge, you sell your exposure, you sell your formal education. Let's say you have none of them. I do have people have none of them. I still hire them. They have very good certifications. The guy, for example, I have a guy who is Ohio State College music department, major in guitar, nothing to do with computer, right? And he showed me he has like 4 Microsoft MCP certifications. He said, I realized that this guitar doesn't give me much money to pay the bill, although I like to play music. So he spent time and studied the Microsoft technology, get a certification, then he put a certification on the resume as a credential. So when you put together your resume, you try to do not only focus on one aspect, technology, business, exposure, formal education, certifications. Right? Another thing I realized recently, if you maintain your LinkedIn profile reasonably good, it is very useful or helpful to put a link of your LinkedIn in your resume. Then you can ask your friends, your colleagues, your former boss to write recommendations in LinkedIn, which seem to be, credible. Right? Those are the resume. But what do I do for interview? Honestly speaking, I try to catch if the guy lied to me. So I specifically asked him, okay, you work on Visual Studio 2016, now 2015, right? So the guy said, yes, I did, right? So tell me, this 2015, what specific feature it doesn't exist in 2013, tell me. And that 2016 or C# 5.0, they introduced what specific syntax of the language. If he couldn't tell me that, means he doesn't really know Visual Studio 2015. Like, let's bring the SQL Server part. If the guy using SQL Server 2016 as if it was 2014, so he doesn't know JSON, he doesn't know the masking, he doesn't know dynamic encryption, right? But he's still using 2016. So you ask him, okay, you use 2016. Can you tell me how do you do mask? Or do you know what kind of feature they offered? You try to verify what is said in the resume. So then you ask some jargons. What is WCF? What is WPF? What is TPP or PCL? All the kind of terms. If the guy doesn't know, then you know the guy is not telling the truth. So what from your perspective, if you're applying job, you need to do homework. Anything you put on your resume, you need to verify that, oh, I know something about it. I know something specific to this about it. All those information is available in internet, MSDA, right? So as long as you done your homework, you did your preparation, then things should be good. Credibility is the key. You want to convince me you are whom you said you are. and you want to convince me you know what you said you know. You want to convince me you did what you said you did. That's very important. I did have a situation. I interviewed the person, I asked the question through video conference. Then the first 2 seconds, the guy just like blank. Then all of a sudden he started to talk a lot. He always have that pause. Then I know, then I say, hey, can you show me a screen? Well, then he doesn't want to show me the screen. I know somebody is listening when we talk. Then somebody is putting the answer on the screen. I mean, you don't want, that's why I say, do not try to bluff. Do not try to guess. If you really, really want to make up something, you do your homework. You make your story a holistic story. Right? Then you can talk. You speak with confidence. You say, yes, I know. This is how it works. You don't say, I think it is. I guess it is. I figured there might be. All those words give people feeling that you really don't know. Right? Those are the interview part. Okay, I'm done. Oh, yes, that's a query. Lisa, right? I didn't get your query until almost an hour ago. Let me get that query again. Before that, I have a query here. Remember that in this is the query. Then I saw in the WeChat group, they say, I want to compare this month with previous month, right? So I get a sort of simplified version. What I did was, for example, this was from the Wireware imports database. I have a purchase order table. So I do self-join. So P1 left join with P2 with P1 purchase order ID equal to P2 purchase order ID minus 1. Right? So you can see the P2 minus P2 purchase order here, 2. Here's that. I have 2 here, right? You go here, you see 1, right? So basically, I can consolidate two related columns rows into one row, right? You use this technique, use DDIF, you can consolidate 2 months data, right? Once you have 2 months data in one row, then you get a difference, right? So this is the first query. Second query, I saw that in the email. Yeah, this is the one. I think this query is pretty good. It's different from what I saw. Different from what I saw in the screenshot. They have a subquery. Most of the time, subquery is not good. Okay, I don't have your table, so they all jump up here. But they have some idea here. That's my mouse. Okay. Oh, yeah, okay. So, okay, you do this part, doesn't matter. You can do start, select start from, doesn't matter, right? So the more importantly is this part. You do left join from where to sell. So probably this is warehouse, this is sales, and location equal to location, then WPC, UPC equal to UPC. That's fine. So if you do left join here, you should get all the data as long as they are in the warehouse, right? However, I see you have all kind of where condition, and this where condition all W's, right? So that shouldn't limit your shouldn't impact your joins. So you can start to do this query without where condition. Then you see whether you get data or not. Then slowly to put those conditions in to limit your result set. What I don't want to see is that I don't want you to do a left join, then select start from. It's not that you don't always do that. I mean, there are times you do that. Then, yeah, there are times you do that. But in your scenario, you don't need this. So you just do this. Should be good enough. Unless you need to aggregate some data from this table. For example, you want to say the total sales about this particular UPC. Then you have a select group by or summary or total or that. Then you join back, right? In this scenario, you don't need. Okay, I think I'm done with my scripts and the demo presentation, and I'm open for any questions that you could have.
Peter, there are a few questions over here.
Okay.
Maybe we go through those. Somebody posted first, then we'll see if we have if there are any additional questions from the audience.
Okay.
So this one says, with all the self-service BI in Power BI, SSIS, Excel, etc., is there anything new in SQL 2016 to safely allow these connections to a SQL 2016 database or SQL Azure database, and to manage the credentials given out to these self-service users?
Oh, I probably couldn't answer that question.
Okay.
I have no idea about it.
Okay, cool. Also, this question says, is masking by row?
By column.
The
data masking by column. You define masking for column. Then if however many rows in this data, in this table, if you specify that this column is masked, all the rows in this column are masked.
Basically, I think maybe he or she is asking whether or not by the user row, like a security.
Security. Yeah, yes. You can grant the permission. You can grant the permission to row. You can grant the permission to individual user. So there's the masking. Yeah. So you can grant the unmasked. Basically, okay, let me go back, right? So I can define the mask for column, right? After that, anybody who has the select permission to this table, they get data masked.
Cool.
Then if I want to specifically allow somebody to unmask, I can grant the unmask permission to a user or to a row.
Well, I think, yeah. Sorry, I don't know how to pronounce your name. Is that Dira? If you want to ask questions yourself, I already unmuted you. Okay, I suppose he doesn't want to ask that. Anyhow, another question. What would you like to ask the question yourself? Yeah, go ahead. I think you have another question here. I can't hear anything. All right, I'll ask the question then. The question says, I saw that the city is updated to Ann Arbor for both of the columns, and looks like it ignored the weird condition.
No, that is not true. That is not true, because previously the data was Ann Arbor. That was a coincidence.
Okay.
I can change to somebody else, something else. Let me get the query. Let me get the query. It's not. Let's see. Do a select first. Okay, I'm going to change the city back to Dublin when the state equal to Ohio, right?
Mm-hmm.
So state. Then change to Dublin, right? Right now it's another.
Yes.
See that?
Right, it's changed.
Yeah.
Cool. Anybody has additional questions? Frank, I saw you raise your hand. I have unmuted you.
Hi, Peter. About the join, you said using the subquery in join is insufficient. But I'm thinking like, in case you join two very big tables, and in one table you don't really need to look through all the records. You only want to compare some part of that table.
Yeah.
So in that case, you just grab a little bit of that table.
No, it's not. You thought that, okay, I do a subquery, I can limit some data so that the join will be faster or that stuff. It's not.
Right. No.
Because you thought that way. When you put all your queries, the SQL Server analyzes your query, they construct your query, then through the query optimization process, they does all those limitations or figure out what's the best way to get your data. So you do a subquery, it doesn't help. Let me tell you what I don't want to see this query, the subquery. Let me show you. Let me write a better query for you. You will see why I said that. So for example, this case. So I don't need this anymore, right? So let's say purchase. Okay. I say select just from purchase order, right? So DBO update purchase order, and now what's there? It's here, right? So then I say, what you try to say is the join, then select, or do another way, other line. Select from other line, then join. So this is OPL, join as P. Right? Normally you do this way. You do this way, then you say on PL purchase order, purchase order number. You go to P purchase order number. Right? Then you say, well, whatever condition about P. P, for example, command equal is not. That's it. Right? So with your thought that why I don't put this one, P join select. So this is one query. Let me put another one here. So your thought is that why not? I do a select PP from P and then where, comma, and my mouse select, oh, sorry, select from here. Right? What you mean is this way, right?
Yeah.
It doesn't improve performance. It doesn't improve performance. But this doesn't hurt performance, right? Doesn't hurt performance. But what hurts performance is another way. So you say PL, well, PL is equal to select from, equal to this. Well, the select, P here will come out into blah. This may not be the best query. I didn't get the good data about it. What I try to say is that you don't want the subquery, for example, here. Let me add another one under. Here equal to P. So here you say, then from here, let me see, join here. Then this may not be the good ones, but the idea here is that you don't want the subquery reference the variables outside the query. If you do that, then for every row in the outside query, for the left side of the query, you need to run the subquery at one time. It's greatly damage the performance. So the general recommendation is that if you don't need to do the subquery, you don't do it. Let SQL Server optimizer to do the job. Performance optimizer, query optimizer to do the job. You do subquery only when you need to do aggregation. For example, the warehouse the purchase case. For each order, for each item in the warehouse, I want to see number of orders we made in the past, let's say. Right? For this case, you need to do, this is a good example. Let me do this. Let's say, so let's say select
execution plan.
Come again?
Can you show the execution plan of the query?
No, this is not even properly executed query, so can't show the query. So let me show you the idea what I have here. For example, I want to say select from the for example item from item table, right? So then I say item table, then okay. Then I say I want to say from here one of the item, then that how does do this? Select item table, then equal to item table for okay, yeah. So the item ID, right? So then I have one more query here. One more query here is select from count row from the order. That's the order table, right? Then where the item ID equal to that item dot ID. Right? I want to have these two rows here, right? So I want to know that for this query, for this particular item, I want to know how many orders it made. So then I will do this way. So this is the item. Code. Right? So from this item code, then I want to have this here because I got a count, right? So with all that, then from item, right? So you will find that for each row of this query of this data in the item table for the MS items, okay. Then you need to execute this subquery, right? Because here the item code equal to item ID, which is the every row in the item table. So you try to prevent such subquery, or in most of the, if you do this thing, anyway, you have this query that the outside value that need to be equal to inside the value, then you got a trouble. So every subquery, you need to run it on every row. So for this case, what you want to do is that you want to do this way. Let me show you. You want to do this way. So you want to do select item code and count from the order table, right? Then you say group by item code. Right? Once you have that, this is the subquery, right? Then you do this subquery. You do this subquery. Let's say we call it. Let's give a name called order summary. Right? So then you do this guy here, right? From item. Then item left join on order summary item code item code equal to OS item code. Right? Then you find that this subquery doesn't reference any column in the outside tab, outside big query, right? Then you join them back with this condition. So if you write this query, even you use subquery, it's good performance. So it is in generally, if you do not necessarily involve aggregation operation, you do not need to do subquery. Only the subquery make you feel looks smaller, faster. But the way you did it, it doesn't hurt performance. It just, in the sense that not really necessary. But if you have an inner query, for example, here I say select this column. I do not use item. I just say item code equal to item code outside. Then got trouble.
Hey, Jujubi, would you like to ask your question?
Yes. I'm waiting. Yes.
Go ahead.
I'm looking at the Peter. What you're just talking about this subquery.
Mm-hmm.
So are you saying in this way the subquery will run first, get the summary, then we go back to join to the
Yes.
Okay.
Exactly.
So the first bad sample you should, that one will go for each ID you go to looking for.
Yeah.
Okay, I see. It's kind of like loop.
Yes, exactly. So this way, you eliminate the loop, it will give you a fast performance.
Yeah, so there's no loop here. Summary first, then join. That one you go loop for all those lines. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, my question is, yesterday I read something you guys were talking about store procedure. So I just would like to know from high level, from your experience, what would define a good store procedure? I know it's a lot of perspective we can talk about, but generally speaking, if you are writing, what is a guide in your mind? You say, okay, I'm going to do like this.
Okay, let me say this way. SQL by its nature is a 4G error. is a non-procedural language. It's a fourth generation language, right? So we all agree on this aspect. So if you see that you are writing the 4GL language using the S3GL, you have loops, you have gotos, you have if then else. It's not good. SQL script.
Okay.
I'm not saying you cannot use any of them, but you don't overuse them.
Okay.
So your majority of your code should stay as a 4G.
So when you say 4G, can you elaborate a little bit more?
Basically, select, update, delete, insert.
Okay. Okay.
Those are the 4Gs.
Okay.
What the 3G is if, loop, go to, else. Those are the 4Gs.
Okay.
Oh, that's one. Another one is that you notice that, for example, this one I use OS, right? I know OS is order summary, right? Here item, I call it I or something. So
right.
PR, purchase order line, I do PR, right? But
right.
I see people do A1, A2, A3, B1, B2, A, B, C.
Yes.
Right?
Exactly.
I do see people doing that. But if you're doing that, you lost the readability of the code.
Right, exactly. Yeah. Okay.
Right? So first, from language and element point of view, you want to use 4G instead of 3G. From the programming expert point of view, you want to name your variables meaningfully.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So when you have, you are forced to write a view, you are forced to write a function, you are forced to write a trigger, that you give them a name, right? So you're forced to give them the name to tell people what it is. That also increased readability. If you write 2009 of store procedure with all the name A, B, C, D, E, R, and 1, 2, 3, 4, I mean, only you remember, if hopefully you remember.
Exactly.
Right? So first, you want to use the right language element. 2, you want to use proper naming. 3 is that you don't want to be too long. If this too long, like to me, is more than 2 pages is too long.
You say more than 2 pages. How many rows?
How many lines? About 2
how many
pages, supposed to be like 100 or 150 lines is like maximum.
Oh my God, the most of our store procedures, maybe 5 times of that.
Yeah, I see that. I remember I went to Reynolds. I did an interview. They asked me, they showed me the store procedure. You're going to fix this store procedure. I said, can you print out how many pages? He said, no, we cannot print out. It's 50 pages. So I told them, I don't think I like this job. Then when I went to US Bank for the interview, they interviewed 25 people. Then after that they told me I was the number 1 in their interview results, distance number 1. Then one of the questions they asked, they bring the 20 pages of store procedure and bring like a 2 pages store procedure. They asked me which one's good. I said, of course this one, 1 page, 2 pages, but that 25 pages, how to maintain this, killing people. Then the director says that you said exactly, we should not have that big size of the store procedure.
Yeah, I see the point. Yes, exactly. But then I'm just asking. Right now I'm doing a project. It's not a big project. It's a small project, but it's pulling data from. So it's from business functions, pulling data from 5 business perspective. So
Okay.
the way I did, I use store procedure for each of them. So in this way, I can quickly identify which business from where it's wrong, it's going wrong. But the other way, I'm not very sure. So somebody asked me, why you need to write 5 store procedures instead of just 1?
Well, I mean, you have 5 store procedures, then you have 5 opportunities to name them, so that you know what this store procedure does, what the procedure doing, right? Then you can write 1 store procedure to call those 5 store procedures to complete the work. But you segregate the meaning of each code, each segment of the code. That's why I said you need to be like a like 我用中文讲叫立体的，叫 3 dimension, right? If you just 1 table, then 1 store procedure is flat. The good database solution should be store procedure, call store procedure, call functions, function call file of triggers. You have multiple different solutions, different aspects. You name them properly, you use them properly to make a holistic solution.
Right. You know, I did this way, but I didn't really think about it. From like what you mentioned that level. I just thinking because each store procedure I can call, you know, because eventually need to use SSIS and put output, so I can quickly identify which ones went wrong.
You can do SSIS, define 5 data sources. The 5 data sources, each data source is using the 1 store procedure. Then you merge them into another step into your other process, right? So I mean,
that's what I did. Yeah.
That's what I said in the IT world. My former mentor told me common sense and logical sense, right? So the logical process, common sense is divide and conquer. You make it smaller, you get fixed first.
Right, because sometimes it take forever to read thousands of lines there, especially somebody else write it. Yeah. Okay, another question I have now. Right now, we are use a lot of dynamic SQL because of the linked server. So now I would run into an issue. I needed to use linked server, and there's a function over there, but somehow the DBA just not happy with this, and he constantly say, I don't think it's a good idea. But that function, it was built by somebody else. It has very heavy business logic. It's not something just you can quickly, I can quickly integrate into my code. I can do it, but it would take like 1 week or 3 days to do that.
I think you want to let first, okay, you write the code. You don't want to repeat the code. You don't want to duplicate the code. If that database, for example, your database is database A, their database B. In the database B, there is a function, and it's there you want to use it, right?
Yes.
So what you want, but that function, I'm assuming that function will apply on the data in the B database.
Yes, exactly. Yes.
Okay. So what you do is that you do a query, you create a view on their database, and in that view, you call that function to produce the data in one of the columns. Then you use the link DB to link this query in this view into your database. You just reference your view. So whatever they change their function, you don't really care, as long as they still produce the view you need.
Oh, that's a good idea. Because right now the linked server does provide table and view, just no function. The function actually, what the function does is only bring 1 column for me. Okay, I got it.
You define a view, then in the view you put that column, reference the function, then you don't care about the function.
Yeah, so for me, I just join back to that view.
Yeah.
So then, okay, I just wonder why the DBA doesn't like. There must be some way of something about performance, right?
No, it's not. It's not performance. Okay, I have the reason. If I'm DBA, I also don't want you to have it.
Why?
LinkDB is for you to get my data.
Right.
Yes, I will expose my data in a view, in a table, or in any way you need, but I'm not going to let you access my functions, store procedures, or the other stuff.
Through linked server.
Yeah, for security reason.
Oh, I see. I see. Thank you, Peter. Really inspiring. Okay.
Thank you.
Another question is, because I work in the reporting team, we have chance to so many different ways to do things, you know, just like somebody said, like build a house, whatever, you just put it together. So I saw a lot of people will say even really just truncate table and node table. So instead they're doing truncate and node, they always say drop table, build a table.
Drop table, build table, and truncate table, they are, I mean,
not much difference.
No. There are some issues here. Okay. First, if you can use truncate table, you always prefer to use truncate table.
That's what I understood. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
But there are sometimes you cannot truncate table.
Right.
If your table has been used, one of the columns being used as a foreign key, you cannot truncate table.
Right.
But in that case, you also cannot delete the table.
Right.
You cannot drop the table either, right? So for that reason, it's not necessary to drop the table to create again, just for that reason. So normally people truncate the table if you can. Otherwise, I just delete all the rows in the table. Continue to use it.
Okay. I just wonder
if you are using it as a temporary table for data massage purpose, you probably use it as a table variable or temp table. Use it and then just drop it off.
Oh, in our case, most of the scenario are, for example, we get a lot of ad hoc report. So normally we would just for the safety, for the sake of safe, we want to keep that table. That table basically will store the data. It's going to extract it output. But for some reason, we want to keep for a while. So in case business comes back, say, okay. Oh, something wrong. It's just for that purpose.
Yeah, in that case, you don't drop the table, just delete the data. If you are okay to truncate it. Otherwise, delete it, but don't drop the table.
Okay. Yeah, we had a lot of ad hoc those tables. Actually, it's temporary table.
Yeah, but I understand. But temp table will stay there for a while, right? Maybe for a day or two, a week or something, then just drop it. It's like a working table.
Right.
That's fine. But you don't necessarily drop it. You just delete the table, or delete the row in the table or truncate the table.
Okay. One more question is, we are pulling data from SSAS, the tabular model or multidimensional model, and build an Excel dashboard. But one thing we run into is you can have safety at the model level, right? You can say, okay, I want this row. Who A can see this row, B can see that row. But when it's pulled out to an Excel, how to keep that safety?
You still can, you still can. Because you're talking about your table, right? Maybe your table have 20 rows, 20 columns, right? Then your table may have maybe 200 rows, right? Then if you want to say who can see what, right? You can use this table, define certain view only including certain rows, including certain columns, then grant the selection permission of that view to a target audience. Then you define the views for others so that they only see what they're supposed to see.
Okay, for example, you have east, west, north, south, or whatever states.
Okay.
So each state should only see the state's data. Then you build.
So I just define. I define east, south, west, north. I define 4 views. So
but
south,
but what about the states? You build like how many states?
No, I mean that also good. You know, you have do that way. You can do another way to do. You can put a store procedure with a parameter of states. So you don't give them the selection permission of the table. You give them the execute permission of that view of that store procedure. They say passing the parameter, I will give the data.
But the data right now it's already put into Excel. How? I mean.
So
the safety issue is not at the SQL level. Now it's at the Excel dashboard level.
That's different, right? That's in Excel. You can use VBA to code Excel with different views, all that stuff, right? But those are different types of SQL Server. What I'm trying to say, if you put the data that you pull from the dimensional data source into SQL Server, then you can do all those fancy stuff to do the implement security, who can see what. Then, when the particular, for example, is, you only get to see the data in Excel in is. You can do SSIS to export that particular view to particular Excel file, which only included north or south or east or whatever.
Yes, yeah, okay. So to do it from the SQL level, SQL database level, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Peter. Thank you. That's all my question.
Paul, is there any other questions from the audience? It's pretty late. Thank you so. Thank you. It's almost 2 hours. Yeah. Well, thank you so much, Peter, for another great presentation and answering so many questions.
Yeah, welcome. It's my pleasure.
Peter, can you, are you interested in some, or Sarah, like come back, not just talk about from business, like how you, what I feel like recently, the longer I work, I feel the more challenges from business perspective.
Yes, indeed. I do feel the same.
It seems like because you have been a consultant, so you have been working with so many different companies. So could you please come back and talk about from business way how you deal with different business?
Sure. I could. Right. I mean, I would happy to do that. Actually, in the American Dream the series, I talked a lot about that, right? So I still haven't finished publishing that. I still have more than half of that.
How would you have time to do so many things at the same time?
Wow. I do traveling. I do traveling. So when I'm in the airport or in the airplane, I'm not connected to the internet, I just do writing.
Wow.
Very productive.
Crazy.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you, Peter.
You're welcome. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Yeah, this session is recorded. We will post it on the YouTube when it's ready. Thank